Well, Donald Trump has signalled his determination to achieve a ceasefire and secure the release of Israeli captives still being held in Gaza. In the last few hours, he's posted on his Truth Social account saying, "Make the deal in Gaza, get the hostages back." So, what are the prospects for a ceasefire? Well, Hamdah Salhut is in Jordan's capital, Amman, and she's there because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting not just inside of Israel, but also the occupied territories. Right, Hamdah, so what's Israel saying about the potential of a ceasefire? Because it's still issuing those orders just this morning, forcing Palestinians out of 17 residential areas in the Gaza Strip.
Well, the Israeli Prime Minister is set to hold his cabinet meeting this morning in just about an hour's time, and he'll also hold security consultations about what they're going to do moving forward in Gaza. The Israeli military says that they're close to achieving their objectives in the Gaza Strip, but it's worth mentioning this has been their rhetoric for quite some time over the last 20 months, that they have reached operational control in the north and in the south. But in these latest evacuation orders, the military says that back on May 29th, they started issuing these orders, these forced displacement orders in mass, telling people to go to southern Gaza, this area in Khan Yunis known as Al-Mawasi. However, this is an area that's been targeted several times, and the military, once they restarted their offensive in Gaza, they said that this would be a, quote, safer zone, even though it has come under relentless attack. So what the Israelis have been saying about a ceasefire, well, the Israeli Prime Minister's office actually denied reports that there was a call between U.S. President Donald Trump and the Israeli Prime Minister talking about how all of this could be wrapped up within 2 weeks, how there could be a ceasefire deal in exchange for normalization deals and a Palestinian state. But Netanyahu had came out and said that that is simply not true.
Hamdah, just looking at those pictures from overnight, seeing protests resuming in Israel, what are the demands?
Well, these protests have been happening also for 20 months. The Israeli public calling on their government to end the war, to bring about the release of the remaining 50 captives, saying that the government's plan of military pressure in order to release the hostages simply isn't working. It hasn't worked, and it will not work in the future, saying that there needs to be a deal. And the protests come at a time where Israel was already under so much pressure internationally for their conduct in Gaza. There were partners like the Americans, like many members of the EU, saying that they would take action against Israel, calling on them for a deal, saying that it's time to end their conduct in the Gaza Strip against the Palestinians. So what the people of Israel at these protests are hoping to do is send that message to the Israeli government, trying to put that pressure on. But despite all of the protests that have been happening on a weekly basis, the Israeli government seems to ignore their demands.
Okay, thank you very much, Hamdah Salhut, there live for us in Amman.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.